Hi everyone, I'm Flip. Today, I want to show you the whole process of making this resin table from scratch. I ran into quite a few problems along the way, but I also learned a lot. Alright, let's get started. This thick slab is kauri, one of the most iconic trees in New Zealand. Because it grows so slowly, cutting down native kauri trees is now banned. That means wood like this is very rare. On the first day, I spent almost the whole day sanding. There were lots of saw marks and scratches that needed to be removed first. This was probably the most time-consuming part of the whole project. It was a little boring at times, but watching the wood grain slowly come to life was really satisfying. By the way, let me tell you where this table came from. A while ago, a client contacted me and said she had a beautiful kauri slab. She had always wanted a resin river table, but didn't know who to ask. Then she found one of my videos and got in touch with me. I asked what style she wanted, and she said I could do whatever I wanted. She only asked for one thing, a natural river look. Honestly, these are my favorite kinds of projects. After sanding, I wiped on a coat of Danish oil. It soaks into the wood really well, but still feels like natural timber. Day 2 was all about installing the legs. I thought about a few different ways to do it. In the end, I used steel angle brackets and bolts. If you've worked in construction before, you've probably seen these. They're commonly used on pergolas and timber frames, so they're plenty strong. Honestly, 2 brackets on each leg would probably be enough. But this table is meant to last for years, so I decided to make it extra strong. In the end, I used 6 brackets on every leg. If you're still watching, you probably enjoy this kind of handmade project, so if you don't mind, please leave a like and hit subscribe. I'll be sharing more restoration projects, builds, and other fun ideas. Once the legs were installed, it finally started to look like a real table, but just before it got dark, I noticed a problem. The middle of the tabletop was higher than the edges. If I poured resin like this, I'd have to use a lot more resin just to fill the middle. So on day 3, I brought an electric planer. I planed down the high spots and made the whole surface as flat as possible. If I had a big thickness planer, this job would have been much easier, but I don't. Some parts around the edge had already cracked and started breaking apart. I cleaned them up with a reciprocating saw. Since the sides wouldn't be covered with resin, I wanted them to look as smooth as possible. I could have filled these cracks with wood filler, or I could have just left them, because they already looked pretty natural, but I decided to do the opposite. I filled the cracks with red instead. I wanted them to stand out and become part of the design. They would also match the river running through the table. Next, we moved the table into the client's new house. I told her it would be safer to pour the resin there. If we finished everything first and moved it later, the resin could crack during transport. I've repaired a lot of resin tables shipped from overseas, and most of them cracked during delivery. Day 4, I finally arrived at the client's new home. Working with an ocean view wasn't a bad way to spend the day. Designing the river was the part I was looking forward to the most. The client said from the beginning that she wanted a natural river feel, so I chose this green color, like a river flowing through a forest. At one point, I even thought about painting little villages beside the river. I was going to use tiny black shapes for roads and houses, but I felt it would make the design too busy, so I left it out. Looking back, I think that was the right choice. The final result turned out even better than I expected. The river divided the tabletop nicely and made the whole design feel balanced. Now it was finally time to pour the resin. I ended up using this food-safe resin from Bunnings. It's safe, affordable, and worked really well. Most other brands only sell large kits, and I simply didn't need that much. One tip, don't use a drill to mix it, otherwise you'll get a lot of bubbles. Pouring the resin was actually really relaxing. Looking back, spending all that extra time making the tabletop flat was definitely worth it. Then I used a torch to remove all the bubbles. You really don't want to miss any, because once the resin cures, they're almost impossible to fix. Day 5 was the second resin pour. The wood had lots of tiny gaps, so the first pour slowly leaked through them before it cured. You can see some areas were almost empty. I expected that to happen, so I saved about 1/3 of the resin for the second pour. The second pour was pretty much the same as the first. I just filled all the low spots until the whole tabletop was level. It was time to remove the mold. After that, I sanded the edges again and polished the resin until it became nice and shiny. I wanted the rounded resin edge to blend naturally into the wood. Then I sprayed a clear coat on the sides. It brought back the color of the wood and also made the resin edge shine again. This table gave me more challenges than I expected, and it took much longer than I planned. But when I saw the finished result, I knew it was all worth it.